Good morning, everybody. Monday morning, start of a new week for most of us. The work week, transitioning to getting closer and closer to the next month, September. Santina, good morning. How you feeling? Tamika, good morning. How you feeling? So today we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna find out. We need to know what is peace, right? So peace is a freedom from disturbance or tranquility, right? And it's also a state or period in which there is no war or war has ended. I like that. I like that definition. A state or period in which there is no war or war has ended. For a lot of us, there's a war going on. There's a battle within, whether it's the battle within your mind, the battle within your heart, the battle within your soul, your spirit. There is a war going on. And it feels, for a lot of us, it feels like people are playing tug, or it's a tug of war within each and every one of us, right? Some people feel like if they're doing the right thing, there's wrong pulling you back. If you on your way to be set free from a trauma, there's something pulling you back into that horrific memory that you're going through. And that is the battle that most of us, we're going through in the everyday. Lady Shay, good morning. That's the battle that we're going through for the most part in life, because we are trying to do something that different in our life. So now our mind, body, and soul, for the most part, is at war with itself, because it's trying to do something that a lot of us don't understand, and that's to find peace. So today I want to talk about there are many steps to find this peace. So I was going through something and then I found out there as many ways, but today I just want to talk about nine of them, right? Why do I talk about nine of them? Because I think these steps will help us to guide us into a place of maintaining a peace. Not only looking for it, but to find it and to, set a foundation in this peaceful era, in this peaceful state that we all need to go on with our everyday life, right? So let's dive into it, right? Now there's nine ways of doing it. I'm gonna gently touch on the nine of them and then do my best to elaborate, right? So one way of getting to find your peace is a mindful meditation, right? You engage in mindful meditation to anchor your focus on the present moment. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and take slow, deep breaths. Allow your thoughts to come and go without judgment. This practice reduces stress, enhances self awareness, and promotes a peaceful state of mind. So, a lot of the time, right, because our mind is racing, we have to stay focused. We have to be mindful of where we are in life. And a lot of the time, because things are going, we don't get to meditate on our mind because we're always on the go. We're always thinking about the next step. A lot of people are thinking about tomorrow before the day is really ended. And so sometimes we have to sit there and meditate on a situation. Let's meditate on today, right? So if you in your backyard, if you in your car, that gives you enough time to focus on what's going on today, right? If you at work, just sit back, close your eyes and just, you know, think about how to set your mind at ease. A lot of us don't take that time to go there because, like I said, everything is a straight motion. You're always thinking about something, whether it's like right now, a lot of people may be thinking about their lunch hour, or some people may be thinking about stressing about something like how am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay this car note? Whatever it is. But sometimes we have to sit back and just focus on how to bring the mind at ease. And one of those ways is meditation. Some people are going to say, prayer works, because it allows your mind to focus on a thing. Some people going to say, whoever you praying to, whether it's God or Allah or Buddha or whoever it is that you're praying to. But the fact that you're doing that prayer is what's going to allow you to have your mind at a focal point to where you're trying to strive for peace in the mind, right? So that's one way. And then the second way I just mentioned is called it's a natural connection. Immerse yourself in nature's beauty to rejuvenate your spirit. Take leisurely walks in the park, sit by a tranquil lake, or hike through a forest. Nature has a remarkable ability to soothe your mind and offer fresh perspectives in life changes, right? So as you think about that, right? If you're walking, let's say you can walk a lap around your neighborhood, or you walk a lap around your park, your local park, right? Diane, good morning. So if you go about those natural walks, right, you get to focus on what's in front of you. You get to see how the grass is green and it's staying still. The posture of the trees, the motions of it swaying, All of those things give you a natural look to things, and it also at the same time it will help you to give you a mindful, help your mind meditate at the same time. Some people may do both. Some people may walk and pray. Some people may, just admire what's in front of them, and it'll help them come away from them stressful moments that you're going through. Yes, it's exercise, right? So you're exercising your mind and you're exercising your body at the same time. If I know I used to tell people sometimes, when you wake up in the morning, go in your yard. If you got a backyard with grass, ground yourself to grass. Take your shoes off and just go ahead and become one with your yard. Meaning, if you ground yourself in your backyard with the grass and all of that thing, it helps you balance yourself. It helps the body focus on a different thing. Even though, we were just talking about the mind, but this works with the mind and the body. If you ground yourself, you can take yourself to a place of peace, even if it's just for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just stand in your backyard, ground yourself, put your feet on the grass, and just be thankful that you made it to another day. Be thankful that you made it from yesterday, because yesterday could have been a harsh day for a lot of us. Yesterday could have been, some trying times. It could have been raining in your area, but also raining in your mind and your heart of us, that a storm was brewing in your body, and the storm was brewing in your mind. But now that you outside walking and meditating and things like that, just go ahead and just enjoy what you see. Enjoy the nature. Enjoy how much air you see. Look up in the sky while you're walking, or you're pacing yourself in your walk in that morning, and just see if the star, see the clouds, if they're moving, and if there is no clouds, just enjoy the limitless view of the sky being the color blue, and just how it can relax you, and things of that nature. Because a lot of us are going through something. A lot of us really have to find that peace that we have to maintain. And sometimes a walk around your community can do it. A walk around your park can do it. Just to be outside, you know, connecting with the things of pleasantry that you didn't have to make, but it's right there in front of you. Just enjoy what you see. Enjoy that. If you're at the park, enjoy the little kids playing. Let it put a smile on your face. Let it take you away from the stressful moments that you may have been going through just a few minutes before, or the day before, or whatever have you. You have to find a way to get to that peace that we all have been searching for. So if it's taking a walk and nature, or a hike, or however you want to view it, take that time to find that peace that surround us each and every second. Another way, the third way of trying to find the peace in your life, start a gratitude journal to focus on the positive aspects of your life. Each day, jot down things that you are grateful for. This simple practice shifts your attention away from the stresses and fosters a sense of contentment and inner peace. So this part right here is telling you to write something down, write the vision, make it plain, right? I always say that all the time. So if you write the vision and make it plain, if you're thinking about having peace, describe what peace is to you. Allow that to see all of these things I want to connect at the same time. Meditate on what you're writing down. You know what? If I could find some if I could find an aspect of harmony to allow peace to come in, you write that down, and then you meditate on those type of things. What's going to make this what harmony is going to bring me joy and peace, or whatever? What joy is going to bring me peace? What satisfaction is going to give me peace? You start writing these things down, and then you start to focus on it. You meditate on it, and it becomes a natural occurrence to you, whether you outside or inside, home or at work, uh, 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 on vacation, or whatever the case may be. start to write these things down so that way you can really focus on it. And you know, in school we used to have, well, I'm telling my age a little bit. When in school though, we used to have an aim. What was the aim for the class? To do this, this, and this, and this, right? And math, it was how to count to 10, right? So now if you start to write, make that journal the aim for your day. How do I find this harmony? How do I find this happiness? How do I find this joy? You write it down and you start to, find the focal points of how to reach your aim of the journal that you are writing down, and and it allows you to have the gratitude of maintaining or striving to that goal of peace that we are all seeking in everyday life, right? So now let's just go to mindful breathing. This is number 4, right? So practice mindful breathing exercises to center your thoughts and alleviate anxiety. Breathe deeply, count your breaths, and let go of tensions with each exhale. These techniques can be done anywhere, providing instant relief, right? So that's just a breathing exercise, right? To control your heart rate, to control, anything that's a worryation to you, because we're talking about the bad anxiety side, because nobody really worries about the good anxiety, because if you have bad anxiety, if you have anxiety at a bad way, in a bad way, your good anxiety can raise your anxiety up to a negative concept. Meaning, because you find something good, your anxiety may scare you into a different level. So now you have to have pace. You have to have a moment to gather yourself together. So that's when you take those deep breaths. You catch yourself before you implode. You catch yourself before you say something that may cause you to lose your job. You say you take that deep breath before you say something to cross that friendship, that relationship with your parents, that may cause something to distract you, or to lose rather than to gain, whether it's a friendship, or you courting somebody and you have a moment of an argument or whatever it is. Yes, Jay, control your breathing, focus on your breath, right? And that's the thing. When you focus on that, it takes you out of those stressful areas. It takes you out of those moments, which will allow you to actually focus on the first 3 things that we had just spoken about already, right? It allows you to find that inner you, to where, if you jotted down what you needed for the day, that could be something that you focus on to get yourself together and calm your anxiety down. It allows your natural breathing to find itself, because now that structure of heaviness, that's allowing your heart to beat at a faster tone, to slowly but surely gather itself together. And it also has you meditating on positive aspects, and allows you to be self-aware that you catching yourself before anything happens to where you can lose what you need to go forward with, as far as, the peace that you are seeking to maintain, or have in your life. So you have to take those mindful breaths. You have to take those deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, let it out. Peace. Inhale again. 1, harmony. Take a deep breath. 1, 2, joy. Now you allow yourself to you're gathering yourself, the composure that you are seeking, to find the peace, and allowing everything to work itself together. You know, as Lady Shade would have said, once you document your vision, now you can focus on it when you having those breathing, that mindful breathing moment, to catch yourself before anything happens. Just really just jot it down, how to stay at ease. Just jot it down, how to maintain the purpose of finding our happiness. Let's get it together. Take your time. Instead of cursing that person out that got you that high anxiety, you saying to yourself, let that go. Breathe. Take that breath. Wusan. A lot of people call that Wusan. So you would have to do those things when you take those mindful breaths. But like I said, it would also lead to those other three things that I have just spoken about, whether it's mindful meditation, the nature connection of you being naturally calm, because nature is not just outside but within. And then think about the things that you wrote about that's going to to be gratifying in your life, that's going to bring you to the peacefulness in your life. Take those seconds to do, while you taking those deep breaths. If it takes you, you know 10 deep breaths at 1 minute at a time, it'll calm you down to bring you at ease and help you find your momentary peaceful state, to where you don't go off on somebody. You don't punch somebody in their face when they're trying to trigger you. You don't curse somebody out because they untriggered you. You have to take those deep breaths and catch yourself, because there are things that's trying to take you out of your natural state of being. There's a lot of people that may believe that your natural being is chaos and try to trigger you to do that. But if you understand that your natural being, that your natural thing, that combats that chaos is your peace. You have to do the things that strive for it, and sometimes it's just taking a deep breath for a few for about a minute at a time to gather yourself. Like I said, whether it's 1 minute, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, take your time and take those deep breaths, so that way you can have those attributes to calm you down. That's not making you feel the anxiety, the anxiousness to just cuss somebody out, the feeling the anxiousness of telling somebody about themselves, but it's just allowing you to find that momentary peace, to where you can go forward and not let them trigger you into a chaotic state. So while you go through those type of things, you just have to do that. Another way of doing of finding peace, and this is number five, is they say stretching in yoga, and it goes, engage in yoga or stretching routines to release physical tension. These practices enhance flexibility, improve circulation, and encourage a sense of relaxation. Even a short daily session can contribute to a peaceful state of being. Now, just by that alone, as we were just talking about, mindful breathing, that will be stretching, stretching your mind, bringing peace to your mind. And yoga helps you to work out your mind. They say yoga, but you could be doing things like not heavy lifting, but some men will probably do push-ups or pull-ups or things like that, to where it allows them to focus on building or rebuilding something in their body, right? And when you're doing that, a lot of the time, even if you're walking, that's a part of stretching your body, because you're stretching out your legs, your hamstrings, you have motion in your body. It allows the blood to flow in a certain way. It helps the mind to focus on rebuilding or structure, or how to get to the finish line of what your goal is. So a lot of the time we have to, you know, like, you can meditate in your stretching. That's what yoga is meditation as well. So if you killing two birds at one stone with the yoga and the stretching, it also helps you to build the peace that you need in your mind, your body, and hopefully it'll be touching the soul to help resonate it to work together as one unit. And because of that, the structure of the yoga is just to do just that, to help you ease or work together the trinity that's within your life, which is the mind, body, and soul. For those that don't know, there is a trinity that is within your mind, body, and soul. And when that works well, when it works together, it'll get you to your highest points of peace. It'll get you to your highest points of joy. And only thing that people can do when you're at that level of oneness is add to it. They shouldn't be able to drain you or take away from it. They should be only improving it to a higher length of peace and joy and happiness and tranquility and all of those things. Because when your mind, body, and soul is on one unit, that is the highest of highs for some people. Well, it is the highest of highs, period, in my opinion, because can't nothing top that when your mind and your body and your soul is working together as one unit. There's nothing that can top that. There will always be people trying to tear it down, to pull you apart, or try to take one unit and make it fight against the other. But when you're at that state of stretching your mind, stretching your soul, stretching your heart, and it's all working in the same unit and it's working as one, can't nothing stop. But the problem is a lot of us don't know how to get to those places to where peace will reign within us in that level. So a lot of that is to 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 do the first 5 steps and try to find it within ourselves to do that, right? Now number 6 is gonna be something that's it's gonna be a little bit different, right? So it's called digital detox. That's right, Lady Shay. Each one reach one. Riaz, good afternoon. How you feeling? uh Digital detox. It says to take regular breaks from screens to declutter your mind, disconnect from digital devices and engage in activity that brings joy and fulfillment, such as reading, hobbies, or spending quality time with loved ones. So in other words, they saying digital, right? I'm going to break that down even more. Sometimes we have to stay off of social media. Like as much love that we find in enjoyment in the YouTubes and the Facebook, a lot of times we find a lot of chaos on there. We find people that's distracted. We find people that just wants to 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 down somebody, and for a lot of them, like a lot of people's peace is chaos. I say that a lot because chaos, it seems to soothe somebody, right? I don't want that type of peace. I hope nobody here wants that type of peace. The peace that you want is the peace of improvement, the peace of love, the peace of joy, right? So that way, not the PIECE, the PEAC, right? Because as we going through everyday life, we're trying to put a puzzle together, and a lot of the times we're putting pieces in the wrong place. It may look good there, but it may not fit there. So a lot of the time we're finding that in YouTube. We're finding that on Instagram. We're finding that chaos in all of these type of things. Sometimes we just need to take a step back. There's plenty of us that do these contents in our existence today. We have to step back. Like, I can't do this right now. I don't have the energy. I don't want to feel like I feel drained. So you have to take a step back to see how much energy you have left. And a lot of the times you see that there's no peace within you. So you step back because you have to step back in order to restructure yourself. To help you find your peace, you have to stay away from the chaos. You have to stay away from, you know, the beef sector. You have to stay away from the cluttering of the opposition of peace, which is chaos. And a lot of times the digital side of it is more of social media, watching crazy shows all the time. I ain't gonna say what shows are because y'all know what shows, is not bringing peace, but it's causing toxicity in people's lives. You know, a lot of people may say reality shows. A lot of people may say, sports. A lot of people may say a lot of different things. But we know that chaos can bring people together just as much as peace can, because there's a lot of people that may not understand that the chaos is their peace and thinking that it's good for them when it's really not. So we have to continue to work and stay away from those type of situations when we just not able to withstand those attacks on social media, especially when if it's towards you, but that's one thing. But it may be towards somebody else, and it may bring a depression into you because, like, yo, that's crazy. I didn't know that they tearing this person down, and there's nothing I can do about it. So instead of you finding peace, you found the opposite of peace, which is chaos, depression, manic states, you know, anger, rage, and things like that. So sometimes we have to stay away from the social media area to find the inner peace and allow us to, connect with the rest of the things that I've already spoken about. So number 7 says that we have to have acts of kindness, right? Meet, good morning. Perform acts of seven perform acts of kindness for others to nurture a sense of connection and compassion. Small gestures like helping a neighbor or volunteering promote feelings of fulfillment and contribute to your own inner peace, right? So I definitely do this a lot, right? Like the other day, there was somebody, I think I was in words chat, and I think there was a young lady that was saying she was going through an episode. Meek's here, so I've done it even in Meek's chat, right? When somebody's saying they're going through something, sometimes it'll help you say, you know what? There's somebody doing that's not doing the same. They're doing worse than I am. So what I would do is, you know what? Let me find my inner peace and have a conversation with them, or better yet, let me pray with them. So I would go in the chat, Heavenly Father, this, may they find the things that they need to improve their situations, whatever the case may be. And sometimes it's so unexpected that they be like, you know what? I truly appreciate that you took the time just to say a prayer for me. I appreciate the fact that you took that time to focus on what I'm going through and pray for a positive change or an uplift in my well-being or my situation. And a lot of the times, I do that because sometimes when you when you're, like I said before, when your mind, body, and soul is working together, there's a thing called discernment, right? So you can pick up when somebody's going through a situation. You can sense that there's somebody that is in your vicinity that may need a uplift in their life. But a lot of the time we don't have discernment because there's so much dysfunction going on within our mind, body, and soul that you know there's no peace to have discernment. There's no peace to have love. There's no peace to have compassion. So when you go through those things, you have to do, you know, nice gestures or acts of kindness to help you. Hey, wait a minute. I might be a little off. So if I could find myself real quick, let me do the kind thing. Let me walk this old lady across the street. Or let me carry these bags for this woman who has kids. Or let me help this young man get himself together. Let me help him tie a tie if I see him struggling. If it's a little kid, hey, you know how to tie your shoe, man? Ask the parent, is it okay? Let me help you with your shoe. The acts of kindness can do the gestures of something positive. Another act of kindness, which people take for granted, is saying good morning. Even though that good morning may be a negative connotation to a lot of people, but the word good can help somebody snap out of a, a, a thought process that wasn't right for them. A smile can allow somebody to say, hey, my day could get better. Have a good day can encourage somebody to actually have a good day. So those acts of kindness, it doesn't take much for you to do it, but the fact is you gotta have it within you already just to say good morning, just to say how are you feeling, you know, if you ever need to talk, I'm here for you. Those are acts of kindnesses that people may not get on an everyday level, and it could be you to spark that striving for peace just by saying those little itty bitty words. The word chaos comes from the Greek, which means emptiness, vast void, chasm, abyss. It has the same Indo-European root as the English word yawn, which means a gap or yeah, because even like right even as you say that, Lady Shay, when you yawn, that means what? That your body is gasping or grasping for something. It needs something to get itself together, right? Not to get off the topic of act of kindness, but if yawning, you have to gather yourself. A lot of people say you yawn because your body is tired, or they may say something crazy like, "Hey, it's because your body is losing. It needs some oxygen to stay awake and things like that." But the fact is, you're trying to revitalize something to keep your body going in the forward direction. If you're tired, you're not going to be able to go as well as you are when you're energized, right? And so, even with that, coming back all the way to the acts of kindness, if your mind is yawning, it's because it has to find a peace. Your mind can yawn, you just don't hear it. You may see the red flags that I'm wearing myself out, and don't take the time to add to the piece to not be worn out in the mind anymore. So if you have those acts of kindness, it may pick you up at the same time. Because sometimes when you point your fingers, it points back at you. So it happens in that same effect. If you uplift somebody to a way of peace and a happy gesture, it may elevate your peace and happiness to an upload, because you had the opportunity to give that to somebody and add on to yourself at the same time. But that's what's called a kind gesture. And because of that, when you're kind to someone, it helps elevate your inner peace within you as well. So we have to do those type of things. That's why I say good morning. Some people may say grand rising because it's a different meaning for everybody else. But the fact is, you're trying to get somebody on a positive energy, a peaceful energy. I've never heard of peace should always be positive, even though, like I said earlier, chaos may bring people peace, but that's not positive, because if you tear somebody down to elevate yourself, that can't be positive. So we as a people need to worry about focus on ourselves to elevate ourselves and not tear nobody down. you know and one of those ways of doing that is having simple acts of kindness. Hey, good morning, how you feeling? Hey, brother, how are you? Hey, brother, I love you. Men can't even say I love you because that kind gesture will be frowned upon into a negative concept. If a man tells a man they love him and other men hear that, like, yo, he tripping, ain't he tripping? That man is not happy. Y'all know the word I want to say, gay. He's gay. But instead of them taking that word gay for happy, they took it and used it for a negative concept, right? It means something else in today, when gay meant happy for the longest period of time. So the acts of kindness, especially when it's man on man, man towards another man, is looked at differently. You know what I mean? Ego gets in the way, pride gets in the way, but the act of being kind towards a man should not even be frowned upon. You should be able to help our brothers be lifted up, but it's so frowned upon because the man ain't supposed to ask for help. We need to ask for help sometimes. We need to ask help to find peace, because the ways of the world is tearing us apart. And if a man turns around and say, "Hey, brother, if you need to talk, I'm here," he shouldn't be worried about if it's going to get back out to somebody to be weaponized against them, but to get it off his chest. Now that pressure on his mind, body, and soul is at ease because he's allowed to have a conversation with somebody. Same thing with the ladies. They shouldn't worry about if they tell a girlfriend, or somebody, an associate or whatever, if it's going to come back to them in a negative concept, like, I should have never told you. You should be happy that the fact that I got that off my chest, and now I can focus on the next step, which is how do I get to even a more positive or peaceful mind or peaceful place in my life, because that thing was weighing heavy on my heart. It weighed heavy on my soul, and it wasn't helping me to be at ease and at peace. But now that I got that off my chest, it's a weight that's lifted off. That's an act of kindness. If you sit there and somebody wants to tell you their story, that is a gesture of help, and you should be able to sit there and reciprocate the help by just listening. You may not even have to say a word. "Oh, I'm so glad I got that off my chest. I appreciate you. Thank you." And now they keep moving. They may sing a song after that. "Oh, I felt the joy that came from out of me." But if you don't have those moments, you don't know what an act of kindness is, then you really need to examine yourself as a whole. you know. And that's the thing that acts of kindness do. It allows you to escape a reality, and allows you to find that place of satisfaction, that place of inner peace that we all need to talk about, and things like that, so we can go forward on our way to finding the peace that we need in everyday life. So another way, which is number 8 that I'm speaking on, is the visualization and affirmations. Harness the power of visualization and affirmations to shape a positive mindset. Envision your goals and repeat affirming statements to reinforce a sense of self-worth and inner calmness, right? Now y'all know affirmations, I we know what the affirmation words is, but how many times do we use it in our everyday life? How much do we say, you know what, I am happy, right? I am strong. I am at peace. When you at your lowest level of self, you can say that, and it won't shake nothing, because we at our lowest our lowest form of energy, right? Our spirit ain't right. So you say, I am comfortable, I am satisfied, I am happy. When you're not happy, you're trying to uplift yourself. But once you find out that, you have to find a way to allow the affirmations to grow. Whether it's, we reshaping your mind, whether it's finding, ways of gaining your inner peace. A lot of times people are saying these things because they need it, but they don't have the strength to say it when you are transitioning into a newness of self, right? Now, if you're sick, you ain't gonna say I am well, because your energy is telling you that you're still sick. But you have to find that strength that's within you. The affirmations help you to find the strength that's in you. I am, I will, I shall be an overcomer. I am victorious. Uh, 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 I am joyful. Right? You have to keep saying those things to start to believe, because words give life. Right? So these affirmation words, it can give you life from a place of of emptiness, not, you know, spiritual death, things of that nature. So you have to elevate that. But as long as you're doing that, when you start the affirmation words and you start to visualize how you can become victorious, how you're going to see yourself walk out of that hospital, how you're going to see yourself paying, excuse me, paying your bills, and not worrying about that anymore. You start to see the ways of the mind. You start to see the stretching of your soul as it adjusts from a down state to an up state. Your heart is beating at a pace of not being anxious or worriations of how you're going to get these things done. Cheeky, good morning. When you go through those type of things, when you say those affirmation words and you visualize that I am a conqueror, I am going to defeat my foes. I am going to overcome my depression. I am going to overcome my anger. I am going to find my peace. I am going to find my joy. You can close your eyes and see. Sometimes you can see the battle that's already within you, and you just sit there like, oh yeah, we're gonna knock that down. You can see why those walls come around, break down from your heart, because they're on defensive mode. But the affirmation can break those walls down and help you defend or fight what's in front of you, which is depression, worrying, anxiousness, all of the things that's keeping you away from your ultimate goal of finding everyday peace. You know, it's a war. Like I said earlier, there's wars going on, but the more battles that you win, the more closer you come, get close to the victory of finding your peace. And the only way to find your peace is if you continue to fight. The Bible says, fight while it's day, work while it's day, for when night comes, no man shall work. That's how it is too with fighting. Fight while you got the strength. Because if you don't have the strength, you are a defeated foe already. So as long as you got an ounce of breath in your life and your lungs, you can fight. You can say, you know what? I love peace. I love joy. I love, right? Love is an affirmation word too, whether people understand it or not, because it'll help you to find elevation in a weakened state. It's like I am, I shall, I love. How could you love something with no energy? How could you be at peace with no energy? How could you joy? How could you find joy with no energy? So these affirmation words help you to elevate it. Look at it, visualize it. I am in love. I am at ease. I am at peace. When you look at it and say it, you can actually visualize yourself in that state of being, that state of mind, that state of affection in the heart. That the feeling of prosperity is coming from within you, and elevating you to get to those stepping stones to where you can find your everyday peace. So affirmation and visualization is definitely a thing. And finally, you have to have the consumption of the mind, right? Mindful consumption. Pay attention to what you consume, both mentally and physically. Choose nourishing foods that support your well-being and engage in activities that uplift your spirit, such as reading, uplifting books, or engaging in creative hobbies. Right? That's number 9, right? So that one is very simple, right? For me, right? If I come up here and say, you know what, let's how do I find peace, right? How does my mind how does my what am I consuming to be at peace, right? So what I do is, I come on here, I give these things to everybody, and like the other day, I give you an example. I was I was I was on I was in somebody's chat, and somebody said, "Hey, I was listening to Bust It Down Brown, and he gave me something that helped me elevate to go ahead and finish doing what I need to do." See, when you place that in somebody, and when you place that in the atmosphere, it touches you, right? And it gave me the energy to say, you know what, at least somebody's hearing me. I know a lot of times that I say that one could win 1,000, and I truly believe that. I may not be the one to win 1,000, but if somebody's receiving what you're giving out, they may be able to execute it better than what you have done, because their mind is better at dissecting of what you're saying. You may have turned it into, you may have gave a person 15 cents, they could turn it into $1. The elevation of mind, the consumption of the mind, for another person may be better than yours, and it's okay. Their thought process is better than yours, and that's okay. But if they can use it to elevate somebody, who cares of who said what? Who cares of how that person found the peace? If your mind can consume what I'm saying, it may elevate somebody else when you tell them, "Hey, I just heard him say this and this and this," and they apply it 10 times better than what you could have than you even thought about processing it, right? Because their mind needed it. It's like if you give somebody an inch, they take a mile. That in that format, you can do the same thing. If you give a person a little bit of energy, that may get them to their destination. It'll start them on their destination. So the consumption of a mind is a wonderful thing, but if you don't have no positive thought process, you're not going to be able to elevate yourself to find the peace. You're not going to do none of the other 8 processes that we have just went over and discussed, and all because you are at a low level, because your mind can't, the consumption of your mind is not to turn something into a revitalization moment for you, or an affirmation word. It's not, if you don't have that consumption of mind, it's not going to mean anything, because you don't know how to use it in the proper format. If you go outside and just sit outside and look at your everyday surrounding, it may not give you the inner peace that you need. So all of these 9 things that I just went off and read about, it's about, you know, for the most part, it starts within you, right? You have to be the engine to find your inner peace. You're not gonna find to, but you shouldn't be looking outside of you for help, especially in a human being, right? It may be possible to do that for People that's look to the hill from which thy help may come. That's for a lot of people that's a reality. But you start from within to look to the hills. Your eyes is from within, your vision is from within you to look towards the hills from which your help may come. It's always going to start with you. Your peace is always going to start with you. If you don't understand what peace is, how you going to know what to look for? If you don't know what joy is, how you going to know what to look for? To look is to look outside of you for a lot of people. But if you understand that you are a storehouse, you must look within you first to see if you have the energy to do any of these things in the first place. Then you could able to. It's just like if you have a glow. The glow is from within you. It shines out. If you live in a righteous life, people say, I see you glowing. When you know, just like in the negative side, right? Girl, I know you just got something. How you know? Because you glowing. Oh, you glowing because you having a baby. Or something to that extent. My man, I see you glowing. What happened, man? Did you start your business? Did you start, what's going on with you? You see that glow on the negative side. You can see it on the positive side too. But it all starts within you. The consumption of your mind will help your body and your soul be at one, and then it illuminates your whole well-being, whether it's a positive light or negative light. We have to understand that it all starts from within you. So it's always an inner look in order for you to look outwards. And if you don't have that mindset of peace, that glow could be a dark glow or a dim glow. It could be bright, but it could be dark. You understand what I'm saying? Damn, he got that negative energy with him. The Bible says, try the spirit, see if the spirit is of God. Right? So the inner God in you, if you're serving the God that you're supposed to be serving, is going to be an illumination of energy that could be consumed for the right reason. Now, if you idolizing something, that make, like I said, that's the dark light. But if you showing that energy that God has given you, the illumination could be soothing to somebody else. Hey, how you got to that point? Well, I sat down, I did a 30-day fast from YouTube, or I did a 30-day fast from intermittent fasted for 30 days from food. I intermittent fasted, just with water. Something to that nature, to find that inner peace within yourself, to elevate the peace that you need to surpass the negativities of life, the energies of doubt in life. You have to understand that it's all for you. It's not for nobody else, but it starts from within you first. It starts from within you, Cheeky. It starts from within you, Meek. It starts within you, Diane. It starts from within you, Lady Shay. It's all coming from you. If you don't understand that all of these 9 pieces of peace, it has to start from within you first. You have to start building. Now, I just read it 9. I just read a list of 9. It doesn't matter how you get to it. You can start at the bottom and reach the top. You can start in the middle and reconstruct it yourself. But the goal should be the same. Those 9 pieces of peace that I just suggested that you focus on, it should have one goal and one goal only. For you to have that peace in your life that you are richly yearning for, that you are desiring, that you are craving. We find ways of satisfying our hunger craves, right? Well, be hungry for peace. Those 9 pieces that I gave you, act like they're 9 pieces of food that you can digest. 3 for the mind, 3 for the body, 3 for the soul, however you want to look at it. Make sure that it all gets nurtured in those 3 aspects so your trinity can become activated, and you can strive on the peace that you need. You can strive on the peace that you desire. You can strive on the things that you need to go forward. Stop, there's a lot of people that really operates on doom and gloom. And like I said, if you on doom and gloom, that's not peaceful. That's worryation. That's anxiety. That's an attack against you. That's not bringing you joy. And if it's bringing you joy, you have to go even further. You may have to find steps 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Your steps may have to continue. But I just hope that those 9 steps that I just spoke about, it helps you to elevate to a peace that you desire. Those pieces, those 9 pieces of a puzzle can bring you the total peace, PEACE, that you need to go forward. So, it's unfortunately I don't crave food, just eat because I have to. No, because, like, all right, let me use that example right there. If you eating because you have to, there are people that feel that they have to eat because they're down and depressed. There's people that will use food to uplift them. That will lead them to gluttony. You know what I mean? There's people that smoke because they feel like that gives their mind a easement of not worrying about things, right? That's the wrong way. Peace comes from within you. But these attributes that we're talking about, smoking, eating, it could be used in the wrong connotation, and it'll be false peace, false satisfaction. The false energy, which is not the good energy that you need, but your body just accepting it as that energy, that it's accepting the false energy because it's energy nonetheless, and it may be more harmful than helpful. So you have to really, like, take your time and really think about the peace that you need. She said, I gave up sugar, lost weight. Now I feel a lot better for it. And you see, that's the cravings that a lot of people don't know how to not have sugar for 2 weeks. She said, oh, I smoke, trying to quit though. The same way you gave up the same way you gave up your sugar, the sugar, whether it's cookies, cakes, soda, whatever, you're gonna have to take that process, and you may have to elevate it by 10, because as much as cravings is an addiction. So let's try to be addicted to 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 the right things. Health. Let's be addicted to health. Let's be addicted to joy. Let's be addicted to peace. We got to strive for those things, and hopefully, those things that I just read out, can help you become addicted to the peace that you need to go forward. Now, you get close to the peace, it may drop that cigarette smoke for you. It may keep you away from it. Like, yo, I don't even need a cigarette because I am so much at peace. You know what I mean? Staying away from people can be, you know, the peace that you need. Isolation, because it's okay to be selfish with yourself. Whether people understand it or not, you have to be selfish with yourself to fulfill the things that you have already lost. And as long as you're around people, you're always, especially if you're a giver. If you're a giver, you will give your last piece of something to somebody else, the PIEC and the PEAC, just for them to feel the gratification that somebody's thinking about them. But what about us? What about ourselves? You have to understand that you have to be selfish with yourself to gain the strength to refill yourself to do those type of things. But if you don't take the time to find the inner peace, how could you give something that you don't have? How do you have the strength to see if your discernment is correct, if you are tapped out, and you know your body is not functioning, your mind is not functioning the way that it is to have the proper discernment. Because the discernment, it takes you away from judgment and things like that. But if you don't have the energy, all you're gonna do is judge them. I don't think they're here for me. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have those things. You have to have a well functioning thing to go forward. In order for you to drive from New York to California, your car has to be tuned up. Your car has to be in perfect condition. What do? You change the oils in the car, whether it's engine oil, transmission oil, the fluid. Make sure that the brakes are proper. Make sure that you gas the car up, as much as possible. But we always forget, hey, we got to rest our eyes because that drive is long. We got to rest ourselves. We have to take the time to take care of ourselves. Because God forbid, if you ain't sleeping and you got to drive 3 days and you think you can drive 36 hours, you got a problem. Because I promise you, if you think you can do a 3 day drive, excuse me, somewhere within those 3 days, you're gonna crash and burn. Hopefully you crash and burn by pulling over and going to sleep instead of actually doing the actual crashing into someone. You see what I'm saying? You have to take the time to build it up. And that's how you have to build up your inner peace. You take these pieces, the PIECSs, and find your way to tranquility, which is PEACE. Hopefully, because some people's tranquility is chaos. But for those that want peace, you have to use these things and place it in the right format. So the picture, the visualization, the affirmation, all of these things can be elevated within you, and you can find the peace, the divinity, the joy, the comfort, the love, and all these things that you need to go forward. So if you don't have none of these tools, take the time to see if it works for you. And if it works for you, take the next step. If you can master one step, you take the second step. Take the second step and master that, take the third. If you can master all 9 of them, you will find a peace and a joy that's undescribable. And not only is it going to be indescribable, it's going to be unmovable, because that peace will allow you to set the foundation to your everyday life to go on and go forward. And I know people say that the older you get, you can't learn nothing new. That's a lie, because if your mind is always a sponge, you can, if it's in a sponge like mold, you can always grow. Your mind can always elevate. Your growth don't just is not just physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's all of these things. So as long as you don't stunt your growth, you can find the peace that you need going forward. As long as you don't stunt your growth, the harmony could be followed behind the peace. As long as you don't stunt your growth, the joy could be everlasting and every day. But you got to understand that, hey, there's going to be people pulling on your coattail. There may be people riding your peace. There are going to be people that's trying to keep you away from there. There's people that rather see you in the valley instead of on top of the hill, because on top of the hill you reach the mountaintop, and there's nothing higher than on the earth than the highest peak of land. They would rather see you in the valley to look down, to look up, where a lot of people are striving for, because misery loves company. Misery is the opposite of peace. It don't sit well with each other, because one is trying to get away from another. You understand? So we have to take our time and find the pieces, the PIECSs, to find the PEAC in our everyday life. So I just gave you guys, 9 different things, or 9 attributes to get to your peace, the inner peace, so the outer peace can be seen, and you can be a walking advertisement of how peace can really be substantial to someone's life. When it comes to food, vegan only, was never a meat eater. That's it's crazy, right? Because I never looked at vegan in a way, right? But that's also a reprogramming of the mind, because a lot of people have been brought up on meat, right? If some people have been brought up on pork, they don't eat pork now because there was a shift in the mindset. Some people don't eat red meat no more because there's a shift in the mindset, right? Some people just are vegans because there's a shift in the mindset, and hopefully those shifts allow you to find the peace to where of your destination, right? If you can get to that destination of peace, whether it's being vegan, whether it's going through a 3-day fast of water only, or a 3-day fast of fruits, the detoxification of a thing could find it's always a peaceful moment. If you detoxify from it, it allows your body to adjust and find itself to a natural state. It allows your body to get rid of those cells that aren't working. It may react, it may fix itself. They say that the body fixes itself when you go through a fast, right? That's why when the Bible tells you everything that you need is already given to you. We just have to activate it. We gotta find it. We gotta search for it. We gotta use it in for our advantage and not a disadvantage. I know what the world tells you. The world tells you that the dandelion is not good for you. It's a weed. But yet that in the back of the stores, they tell you that dandelions are healthy for you. So if you're growing something that's in your very presence, and you go to the store and buy it, why you're wasting your time because it's right there in front of you. But we have to renew our mind because we are told that these weeds aren't good for us when they're actually good for us. Instead of us understanding that like everything is presented for us, we go by what somebody else is telling us. So we have been programmed. Our mind has been deactivated from our natural self because we are programmed not to use what's in front of us, not to use our natural attributes, not to use our instincts are off because now it's been programmed. You know what I mean? So instead of you finding peace, you're always looking for chaos. Instead of you finding joy, you finding pain. Instead of you finding love, you finding hate because that's what's in front of us a lot of the time. But everything that we need to reverse those symptoms has always been in front of us. Have I ever done a detox? Thinking about when I fast, like when I did, all right, for example, when I did the 40-day fast, right, I gave up a lot of things. I would eat like one meal a day, and a lot of the times I would just eat fruits, right? I would eat fruits if I felt like I needed like something with substance. I may do something like a salad here, some tuna fish here. Tell you good morning, good afternoon. I might do something to where I'm not putting the heavy consumption in to allow the detox or the fast to operate in a way that it needs, right? So if you take those pieces of meat away and just focus on fruits, right? You can feel the revitalization of the body. And if you're meditating, it draws you closer to the God that's within you. Because God has placed something in each and every one of us for us to focus on. But sometimes when you do that detox, you can hear that voice clearer in your body. Like it's not a voice like my voice. It's your conscience, it's your intuition, it's your inner being saying like, yo, if you can hear me, keep going. Continue doing what you're doing. You have a goal to reach the goal. Right? Even if you're trying to find peace and if you detox, if you stay away from, negative concepts of YouTube, if you stay away from, you know, concepts of reality shows on TV, if you stay away from that toxic environment at the water coolers, gossiping, or things like that, if you detox from that, examine yourself and think, yo, I went through a whole day and I didn't feel about talking about nobody. I didn't care what somebody else was going. As far as did you see how Billy Bob wife was cheating, or Jane was being cheated on by Billy Bob? It didn't matter to you. At the end of the day, when you detox from that situation, you feel it. So I have detox, like I've done 40 days, and I felt it. My face, like my mind was at ease. My body was like the inflammation of the body wasn't. It was a different. It wasn't like you didn't have soreness all the time. You can go out there and take those walks and your knees not hurting. Not saying that I have bad arthritis, but sometimes when you do things, when you're standing on your feet all the time, you may not even feel it. Like, yo, I don't feel that pressure on my feet no more because now I'm at ease. My body is adjusting to it. I lost some weight, so it's not carrying as much weight as it did before. So I have done a detox, and I know that it works. So sometimes I'll continue it. Like a lot of the times, I don't eat during the morning. I let my body continue to break itself down to where, all right, I can go, like I can eat within 18 hours, or I eat when I'm hungry. When my body's telling me it's hungry, not when it's craving. You see what I'm saying? Craving is like an addiction, but But when you're hungry, it's not because it's addicted. It just needs the fuel to fuel your body. The craving is the you know to add the wrong fuel, sugar, carbohydrate. You know what I'm saying? All of the negative sides. Like if you eat a salad, it won't stop you from craving. It'll make it even. It'll make it more desirable. You see what I'm saying? So the detox is well. And if you don't get hungry, then you can. They say if you don't get hungry, like if you eat one meal a day, like if you can go 24 hours or 36 hours without eating, they say you don't get sick. I know when I fast, I never did get sick. I've never gotten sick because my body's on a constant, mission to break those things down. That's keeping me from healing. So, the energy is different. You feel like you could take on a whole world, and it shows in your body, in your mind, in your soul. So yeah, I do a detox. That's a good thing. So that was a great question. I hope I answered it, Chigi. Did you form any habits from the fast and you gave it up or decreased consumption still today? Yes. When you go through the fast, the things that you desire the most, right? Like, you know, a lot of us feel like they gotta have that nice heavy soda to finish their meal off, right? You know, for example, if you fast, right? A lot of the times if you smoke you may not feel like you have to smoke because a lot of the times if you eat you have to smoke to help feel the satisfaction of you eating, sort of, right? I don't smoke, but this is what was told to me. I said, why do you smoke? Because you know why do you smoke after eating? Because it makes me feel like the consumption is complete. See, I don't judge nobody, right? But I know this. If you fast, you don't have to feel the satisfaction of smoking to finish your meal. You see what I'm saying? So the fact of it is, I do the best that I can, and it has allowed me to give up a lot of sugar in my life. Like, you know, growing up, I was always a snack person, so I don't really snack as much. I like, for example, if I eat before six, I eat before 6 o'clock, right? So I may get that one meal in, right? In a little, maybe a bag of chips, some peanuts, uh, uh, uh you know, uh, fruits or something like that to call it a snack and not just consume cakes and cookies and donuts and all of those things. So what happens is when you do that and then you go all the way to the next day, you feel the energy that I could jump out the bed the next morning because my body is revitalized. So yes, when it has given me the energy to not worry about having 2 meals a day, lunch and dinner, or 3 meals a day. Because I always said to myself, breakfast has never been the best part of my day. You want to know why? Because when you eat breakfast, you get tired. So how could that be the best meal if you're tired? You're starting off on the wrong foot. But when you if you eat around 12, 1 o'clock, your energy is already there. The wake up is already revitalizing. So now you should have the energy. But if you go out there and eat, you know, high sugars and stuff, you may be dozing off by 10 o'clock, even though you just woke up at 7. Word, my brother, what's happening? What up, Nine? So when you take YouTube, what up, Nines? And the Nines are in the building, right? So it is funny that I did the number 9 and I'm talking about the Nines themselves. But anyway, when you do those type of formats, it helps you uplift, revitalize, and you can see things in a different aspect, right? So your focus is better. You're not looking at things with the tiredness of the droopy eyes. You can actually keep your eyes open and focus much better, whether it's physically or spiritually or any other aspect, right? Because you have allowed your body to revitalize itself. So that's one of the things. Afternoon, Shay, how you feeling? Those are one of the things that you do, right? That's why I never understood how the religious people, well, a lot of religions, like Muslims fast through Ramadan. You would have to ask a person going through Ramadan, how do they feel after the fast? How has it helped them? Has it drawn them closer to Allah? I always suggested, I never understood why, you know, Christianity don't fast the 40 days before Easter. I think it draws you close to the inner God that's within you. And when you find that inner God that's within you, it brings a peace about you. They want you to be like Christ, but they don't teach you how to fast like Christ. So if you don't fast like Christ, how you going to really know what he went through? Do you understand? Well, you're not going to fast 40 days. I understand that part. But make the suggestion of intermittent fasting. Give up weight like Lent. You're supposed to give up something during Lent. If you give up meat, see how long you can go without the meat. See what it does for you. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't do that because it's not really spoken about it in a lot of churches. So I never understood that, but I would do it on my own accord. Okay, Ash Wednesday, that's the beginning of my fast. I'm going to give up chicken, ribs, so on and so forth. Right? So then you'll start eating salads, fruits, things like that. See how it works for you. Intermittent fast for 18 hours. If you can, if you feel like, because once you do it for a certain amount of time, it becomes easy for you. So then you can elevate it for 24 hours. Then you might say, you know what, I'm going to go once a week, 36 hours without eating. And you keep trying yourself. You push yourself to the limit to see how close you can get to that peace that you are desiring during the fast. So, like I said, when you do those things, the result should be much more different than your everyday actions. And if it means that much, you will adjust your life to that way of fasting, to where I don't gotta eat every day. I don't gotta eat that piece of chicken. I don't gotta eat that waffle in the morning. I don't gotta have that cereal in the morning. For some people, they gotta have their coffee. If you fast those days and you don't have your coffee, see what happens to your body when you don't have to have that coffee. You might say, I never knew I could go without coffee this long. I never knew I could go without smoking that long. But you have to put the pieces of the puzzle together to find the piece, right? And so I just, like I said, I just hope that those nine ways that I gave you can attribute you to a piece to where, it'll push you even further. That's just nine. There's many ways of finding peace. But if you take those nine and it works for you, you might, like I said, you might search for 10, 11, 12. How do I maintain my peace? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's numerous ways, right? But if you take those nine pieces and turn it into the piece that you desire, the world can't stop you. And can't nothing get in your way. Because like I said, that piece that you are desiring will have your foundation. It'll have it so solid that you wait for the earthquake. Because I'm standing on my piece. You wait for the missile to launch. You wait for the attack. You standing on that piece. But you got to have the tools and the pieces to find that piece that you need to go forward in everyday life. I can go days without eating anything, but I know I shouldn't. No, it's fine. Let me ask you a question, Cheeky. When you go days without eating, right? Not even on the like the physical, like your weight or anything else. How do you feel when you go without eating? It doesn't even bother you. Does it bother you? Because, at the end of the day, you're not even focused on anything that's negative, because a lot of the times people eat because they've gone through a thing. So how do you feel when you don't eat for like 2 or 3 days? What is your mindset? What are you focused on? I think for you, it'll help you plant another seed. Like, I'm not even talking about your gardening skills, but I think you need to touch that a little bit more too, Cheeky. But that's another story for another. We had that conversation before. I think you plant the seed for a new direction for yourself. All right, you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about eating. And like I said, let me ask you a question. You feel the same? So if you don't eat, how often do you smoke more when you eat, or it doesn't affect that either? I think, like I said, because for most people, they smoke to they smoke after they eat because it's a satisfaction to it. Well, I'm gonna ask you, when you eat, after you eat, do you smoke after you eat? So I heard I heard somebody tell me it helps them digest their food. I'm like, wow, I never knew that before. But I'm just saying, people use things for different reasons. You understand? I would use, if I'm not eating, I know I got the energy. I might feel like I could walk 25 miles. Oh, okay. Because there's a lot of people that tell me that, smoking does affect that for them. So, you know, but if I can go 2, 3 days without eating, I know my mind is at a place like it's revving on a different level. And it helps my body say, you know what, come on, we can get up and do anything. You might think you can lift the whole forest up sometimes because you got the energy to do that. Oh man, I don't smoke after eating either. And I was telling somebody, at the end of the day, there's an exception to every rule. But the fact of the matter is that, the way that you have to find your peace is everybody's own way. Like I just hope that the ways that I just, read off and elaborated on can help somebody to get there. You might find other avenues. It may lead you to other avenues. It doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there. Whether it's my suggestion, cheeky suggestion, safe suggestion, as long as you get to the goal is what matters. You know what I mean? So, I just think that, we have to all work on ourselves, right? To find the answers that we are looking for. But we have to understand that the answers are within us. Those 9 things, the majority that I read, the majority of them starts within you. And if I had to say all 9 of them start within you, then I would say that I can say that with certainty as well. But you gotta you gotta really take the time to look within yourself to find it, because like I said, God has already given you everything. You are a storehouse for a reason. You have been given gifts at birth. You got to stir it up. You got to understand what it is to go forward and use that thing. But it's up to you to do it. You know, you have to apply everything to your everyday life. Yeah, my guy going through it early in the morning. Well, this afternoon now. But he gonna have to use his affirmation words like, man, I'm gonna get through this, man. I'm gonna get through these hours. These kids gonna take a nap and I'm gonna be at ease. That's gonna be my peaceful moment. But he's going through a thing, but he has to process his momentary peace. Like, he gonna have to say the affirmations. I am gonna get through this. I will get through this. I I am going to take a nap after this because they are wearing me down. But you got to understand, it's your process of doing the thing to make you get to where you need to go. So it's a lot. It may be a lot for people to process, right? But if you take the time to dissect each piece that's going to get you to your piece, I promise you, you will get there. And that's the message for today, right? Process your piece, process the pieces to get to your piece. You know, So, it is a process, but the process can be completed. You just have to have the patience to do it. So, with that being said, I didn't even know I've been on here that long. I was just talking and talking and talking. Hopefully, like I said, this can be used as the things that I've said today can be a jolt, a uplift to finding somebody's peace. Hopefully, it reaches somebody. If not everybody, somebody, and if they apply it, if they apply these pieces, their puzzle of peace will become whole, and they will receive it. So, with that being said, y'all, I truly appreciate y'all listening to me. Uh, Taking the time out, just to hear me, you know, give my suggestion of or my suggestion of how to find the peace. So, with that being said, y'all, I'm out. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'm out.